everyone, it's Mrs. Morgan. This story is for Year 5+6, but it comes with a warning. It's a little bit scary. It's a horror, a thriller. So if that's not your kind of thing, then probably this isn't one that you should be listening to. It's called Find Me, and I picked it because I think it's got lots of interest. It's got lots of really good language in it, and I think that a really good piece of writing could come out of this story. So, the boy caressed in the palm of his hand the rusty key. Hours had passed scouring the unknown territory, and it was a complete waste of time until he found this reward, this trophy. With the eagerness of an archaeologist, he scraped away at the key until on its shaft he uncovered an inscription, and the inscription said, "Find me." As he stepped into the house, he marvelled at the uniqueness of the manor. It was truly breathtaking. His mother had sunk into poverty since her husband had died in the Great War. She was a hard-working and trustworthy woman, and she was really fortunate to be given the job of housekeeper at Pensford Manor whilst the family who lived there were travelling. Her son was an exuberant 9-year-old, short for his age, but fearless nonetheless. And he was delirious to find that he was lucky enough to be able to explore the formal gardens, the orchards, the wildernesses that surrounded the manor house. Not only that, but he was able to travel through the different rooms and the corridors and all of the hidden places in the manor itself. And it was truly something to be marvelled at. Nimbly traversing the corridors of the manor house, the little boy soon came to a room, and it was a room that he had yet to discover. And he pondered over the portraits that hung on the wall as he stepped inside. They were vast. They filled every single space. They were beautiful, and they were clearly centuries old. Each of them had a golden gilded frame around the outside, and he was marvelling at their beauty when someone tapped him on the back. It was a delicate touch, more that of a child than an adult, and he knew that it definitely couldn't be his mother. And there it was again, a gentle prod, but he could undoubtedly feel the fingertips pierce through his shirt. He spun around and came face to face with the life-size portrait of a little girl. She had golden flowing locks and peaceful blue eyes, but her face was sad and pale and full of longing and loneliness. In the background of the portrait, there was a decaying oak door, which seemed to have in the corner of it a rusty lock. It was then the girl moved. She seemed to be clawing at his hand, but why? He opened up his palm. Of course, the key. She smiled, but her eyes were bulging with hunger as she hypnotically beckoned him to come forward. The girl pointed eagerly to the lock behind her, and as he slid the key in and turned it, a huge light came out of the painting, engulfing not only him, but his screams for help. "Son," his mother called. "Son?" But no response. For the whole day his mother had searched the entire manor house, looking in every room for any trace of her little boy, but she'd been unable to find him anywhere. It was then that she thought of the owner's parting words, which were to ignore a corridor in the west wing of the manor house, that corridor was to be left alone, didn't need to be cleaned, didn't need to be touched. So she headed in that direction. On opening the first door, the mum noticed that the dusty floor was covered in small footprints, the perfect size for her little boy. So she followed those footprints in the hope of finding him. She came to a room full of beautiful portraits in gilded frames, and it was one gloomy picture in particular that caught her eye, a picture of a young girl with blonde curly locks and sad blue eyes, and almost a feeling of longing and loneliness. The woman recoiled in horror as she noticed the little girl had found herself a companion. Her hand was resting on the shoulder of her son. And And that's the end of the story. So underneath the video, there are a couple of attachments, one for year 5, one for year 6, which will give you some ideas for activities to go along with this story. But if there's anything that I haven't thought of and you think of something really exciting, then please go ahead and have a go at that too. Anything that you do related to this, can you please send through to your year group email? I would love to hear about all of the things that you have been doing. I really hope that you're all okay, that you're staying safe, and I cannot wait to see your faces hopefully really soon.